It's July 5th, 2026, halftime at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 80,000 people are on their feet for a World Cup round of 16 match. And walking out across the pitch, carrying the match ball toward the referee, is a 6'2", 198-pound humanoid robot with no cables, no operator in sight, and, as of 11 days earlier, exactly one owner. Not an American tech company, not a defense contractor, a South Korean car company. And that same car company had just finished paying $325 million for the last 9.65% of it they didn't already own. Read that again. $325 million. For less than a tenth of a company, most Americans have watched do backflips on YouTube for a decade without ever once wondering who signs the checks. Here's why that question is suddenly worth asking. If you drive a Hyundai, a Kia, or a Genesis, this robot's new full owner already builds your car. And starting in 2028, robots from this exact company are scheduled to start working the line at Hyundai's massive electric vehicle plant in Georgia, the same plant that might be building your next one. This isn't a Silicon Valley curiosity anymore. It's an auto industry supply chain story, and the supply chain runs straight through your driveway. Before we go further, a promise. This video isn't going to tell you humanoid robots are about to replace your mechanic, or that Boston Dynamics is a $20 billion sure thing. Some of the numbers behind this deal are genuinely staggering. Some of them are inflated, contested, or resting on assumptions that haven't been tested yet. We're going to walk through both, and by the end, you'll know exactly which is which. The company that never made money on purpose. To understand why this ownership change matters, you have to understand what Boston Dynamics actually is, because it is not, and has never really been, a normal company. It started in 1992 as a spin-off from MIT, founded by an engineer named Mark Raybert, who'd spent years studying how legs work. Literally, the biomechanics of how humans and animals balance and move. For its first 2 decades, Boston Dynamics survived almost entirely on U.S. defense research funding, most of it from DARPA, building experimental legged machines that were never meant to be sold to anyone. They built robots that could run, climb, and recover their balance when kicked, genuinely years ahead of anything else in the field. What they didn't build, for a very long time, was a product. That's the wall this company lived behind for 30 years. Astonishing engineering, no business model. Google bought it in 2013, hoping to fold it into a broader robotics push and let it go within 3 years. The tech was dazzling, but there was no revenue story attached. SoftBank picked it up in 2017 for roughly $100 million, a steep markdown from what Google paid, and kept funding the research while the viral videos kept racking up views. Millions of people watched Atlas do parkour and backflips. Almost none of them were customers because there was nothing to buy. The turning point was small and unglamorous. In 2020, Boston Dynamics started actually selling something. Spot, the dog-like quadruped, went on sale for $74,500 a unit. Inspecting industrial sites, monitoring construction, doing dull, dangerous work in over 40 countries eventually. It wasn't the robot that made headlines. It was the first one with a price tag and a purchase order. That's what caught Hyundai's attention. Wall 1, a company Hyundai didn't fully own. In December 2020, Hyundai Motor Group agreed to buy an 80% controlling stake in Boston Dynamics from SoftBank, a deal that valued the whole company at $1.1 billion, closing the following June. It was Executive Chair Yui-Sun Chung's first major move after taking the reins of the company, and it was a strange structure from day one. The stake wasn't held by one Hyundai entity. It was split. Hyundai Motor took the largest piece. Hyundai Mobis, the parts and actuator maker, took a chunk. Logistics arm Hyundai Glovis took a smaller slice, and Chung personally held onto a fifth of the company himself in his own name. SoftBank kept the remaining 20%. That last detail matters more than it sounds like it should, and we'll come back to it. But the immediate problem this solved was control. Hyundai could now direct Boston Dynamics' roadmap instead of just watching it from the sidelines. Which brings us to the real question. Control toward what, exactly? A company famous for robots nobody could buy? Which brings us to the next wall. Owning Boston Dynamics didn't automatically make humanoid robots useful. It just meant Hyundai now had skin in the game to make that happen. Wall 2. The robot was smart in the lab and useless on the floor. For years, the honest problem with humanoid robots, not just Atlas, all of them, was that walking and balancing and doing a specific, repeatable, economically valuable job are two completely different engineering problems. A robot that can do a backflip in a controlled demo can still be baffled by an oddly placed cardboard box on a real factory floor. The clever solution here wasn't one breakthrough. It was three converging at once. First, Boston Dynamics retired the hydraulic Atlas entirely and unveiled a fully electric version in 2024, built from the ground up for mass production rather than research demos, using components pulled from the existing automotive supply chain wherever possible instead of expensive custom parts. Second, Hyundai's own parts affiliate, Mobis, took over building the actuators, the motorized joints that function as the robot's muscles, which industry estimates put at roughly 60% of a humanoid's total material cost. Third, and this is the part that actually taught the robot to think, Boston Dynamics brought in outside AI muscle it didn't have in-house, NVIDIA's chips and robotics software stack for real-time processing, and a partnership with Google DeepMind to build the reasoning layer using its Gemini robotics foundation models. The production Atlas that resulted unveiled at CES 2026 in Las Vegas, where it won Best Robot of the Show, can lift about 110 pounds, carry roughly 66, run for 4 hours, and swap its own battery without help. It has 56 degrees of freedom, which is a fancy way of saying it can move in ways that make older factory robots look like vending machines. And using reinforcement learning and simulation, Boston Dynamics says Atlas can pick up a new task, like rotating its torso and hauling a 23-kilogram mini fridge across a room while adjusting to the shifting weight inside, within a day or two of training, not months. Here's where the internet hype tends to run off a cliff, so let's be precise. None of this means Atlas is a general-purpose robot that can walk into any job. It means Atlas is a narrow specialist that can be retrained fast for a new narrow task. That's a real and valuable difference from older industrial robots. It is not the same as human-level adaptability, and Boston Dynamics' own leadership has been careful never to claim it is. Which raises the next, much bigger wall. Wall 3, you can build a smart robot. Can you build 30,000 of them a year? A brilliant robot that costs a fortune and takes forever to build isn't a business. It's a science project with better PR. And this is where the story stops being about robotics and starts being about industrial capacity, which is the thing this channel actually cares about. Hyundai's answer was to treat Atlas the way it treats a car platform. Build the factory before you need it. The company committed to a $26 billion U.S. investment package running through 2029, which includes a dedicated robotics facility targeting production of up to 30,000 Atlas units a year by 2028. Hyundai Mobis is simultaneously building a U.S. actuator plant with capacity for 350,000 units annually starting the same year, enough to fully supply that 30,000 robot run, since each Atlas needs more than 10 of them. And in May 2026, at an investor session hosted by JPMorgan Chase, Hyundai put a real number on internal demand for the first time. More than 25,000 of those 30,000 robots a year, roughly 83% of total planned output, are earmarked for Hyundai and Kia's own factories, starting at the Meta plant near Savannah, Georgia in 2028, with Kia's Georgia plant following in 2029. That's not a pilot program. That's a car company telling its own investors it plans to be Boston Dynamics' single largest customer by a wide margin for years to come. But building the factory doesn't solve the last problem, and it's the one nobody in a press release wants to talk about. Wall 4. The company Hyundai didn't fully own, again. Remember that strange 2020 ownership structure, split 5 ways with SoftBank, still holding 20%? Buried in that original deal was a clause. If Boston Dynamics didn't go public within roughly 4 years, SoftBank could exercise a put option and force Hyundai to buy out its remaining stake, while Hyundai held a matching call option of its own. No IPO ever happened. And by mid-2026, that clause came due. SoftBank chose to sell. On July 16, 2026, Hyundai Motor Group announced it would acquire SoftBank's remaining 9.65% stake. By then, SoftBank's original 20% had been diluted down through years of additional investment rounds for $325 million, with the various Hyundai affiliates completing their internal board approvals to close it out. For the first time since 2013, when it left MIT's orbit, Boston Dynamics has exactly one owner. And here's the thing, the ownership change itself might not even be the most interesting part of this story. The part that actually matters, what full ownership unlocks. A minority shareholder sitting in the room, even a quiet one, creates friction. Every major strategic call, every dollar of capital investment, every decision about pricing Atlas below or above cost to win early customers had to account for SoftBank's separate interests. That friction is now gone. Hyundai can move Boston Dynamics' roadmap in lockstep with its own factory timelines without negotiating around a second shareholder's priorities. It also does something else. It clears one of the biggest obstacles standing between Boston Dynamics and a future IPO. Market watchers now widely expect Boston Dynamics to attempt a NASDAQ listing as early as 2027, a stock that, if it happens, would be one of the very few pure-play ways for an American investor to buy into humanoid robotics directly on an American exchange, for a robot most of them have already seen on their phone a dozen times. Mark Raybert, the MIT engineer who founded the company in 1992, isn't running day-to-day operations anymore. He moved on years ago to lead a nonprofit robotics research institute, but the company he built from a legs and balance research project is now, on paper, one of the most valuable private robotics companies on Earth. Boston Dynamics' current CEO seat is held on an interim basis by Amanda McMaster, the company's CFO, after longtime chief executive Robert Plater retired in early 2026 following more than 3 decades with the company. The proof case that this isn't just theoretical is already under construction. Hyundai's Metaplant America, near Savannah, Georgia, the plant that builds the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 9 electric vehicles, already has a robotics Metaplant application center on site, purpose-built to train and validate Atlas units before they touch a real production line. That's not a demo stage. That's the on-ramp to the exact 2028 deployment Hyundai has already committed to publicly. And zoom out one more level, because this is where the story stops being about one company and becomes an industrial policy story. Hyundai's robotics push is backed by a domestic commitment of 125.2 trillion won, roughly $96 billion, in South Korean operations over 5 years starting in 2026, with AI-powered robotics named as a core pillar alongside EVs and hydrogen. Executive Chair Yoo-Sun Chung has framed it explicitly. Hyundai is trying to stop being purely a car company and become what the industry is now calling a physical AI company. One that manufactures the machines that will eventually help manufacture everything else. Morgan Stanley has projected the global humanoid robotics market could reach roughly $5 trillion by 2050. Whether that number holds up is a different question. But it tells you why a Korean industrial conglomerate is willing to spend billions locking down full ownership of a robot company that, as we're about to get into, doesn't actually make money yet. Let's be honest about the actual numbers. Here's where we separate the real story from the version that sounds better in a headline. Start with the valuation, because this is the single most misleading number in every article about this deal. Hyundai didn't pay $325 million because Boston Dynamics is worth $3.3 billion today. That $325 million was calculated off a locked-in price set back in the original 2020 agreement. One that, per the reported deal terms, valued the whole company at roughly $3.3 billion, essentially flat with where it stood back in 2021. Separately, market analysts, including South Korean brokerages like KB Securities and Yuanta Securities, citing Hyundai Glovis's own disclosed investment filings, estimate Boston Dynamics' actual current worth at somewhere between $20 billion and $21 billion based on recent capital injections, with some bullish long-range projections stretching as high as $88 billion by 2035 if the 30,000 robot plan fully materializes. That would put the increase from the original $1.1 billion 2021 valuation at somewhere around 18 to 20 times. You heard that right, but notice the gap. SoftBank didn't get paid anywhere near that $20 billion estimate. It got the locked-in price. Anyone telling you SoftBank walked away with a $20 billion payday is selling you a headline, not a number. Second, Boston Dynamics is not profitable, and it isn't close. Corporate filings disclosed by Hyundai Glovis put the company's most recent annual revenue at roughly 150 billion won, around $110 million, against a net loss of about 528 billion won, north of $390 million. That's a loss more than 3.5 times the size of total revenue. This is a company Hyundai is subsidizing at real scale, betting that mass production after 2028 turns the math around. It hasn't yet. Third, the ownership structure itself is more complicated than Hyundai owns it. Corporate affiliates, Hyundai Motor, Kia, and Mobis, jointly through a holding vehicle, plus Hyundai Glovis directly, control the majority. But Executive Chair Yoo-Sin Chung personally holds a stake reported at around 22% in his own name, not through any company balance sheet. Korean analysts have connected that personal stake directly to Chung's family succession and corporate governance planning. An IPO at a high valuation could hand him a personal payout in the tens of billions of won, separate entirely from any benefit to Hyundai shareholders. That doesn't make the robotics strategy fake. It does mean the incentives pushing toward a fast, high-priced IPO aren't purely about building better factory robots. Fourth, and maybe the most human problem in this entire story, the Hyundai Motor branch of the Korean Metal Workers Union publicly declared in January 2026 that Atlas will not enter any Hyundai factory floor without a formal labor management agreement first, citing the robot's roughly $145,000 per unit cost and the very real fear that efficiency is code for job loss. Hyundai has said the plan is to start Atlas on tasks nobody wants: sorting, sequencing, heavy lifting, and free workers for other roles. The union isn't convinced, and as of this recording, no agreement has been reached. The 2028 deployment date is real. Whether Atlas actually walks onto that factory floor on schedule is not yet settled, and that's a fact the company's own press releases don't lead with. Fifth, cost. Early production units reportedly run $130,000 to $140,000 apiece. Boston Dynamics projects that fall into around $30,000 once cumulative production passes 50,000 units, a roughly 80% cost reduction that depends entirely on hitting a manufacturing scale no humanoid robot company has ever actually reached. It's a reasonable bet based on how battery and EV costs have fallen with scale before. It is still, today, a bet. Humans have been trying to build artificial people for a very long time. Automatons that could write, that could play chess, that could walk, going back centuries before anyone had a battery or a microchip to put inside one. What changed wasn't the dream. It was the arrival of cheap sensing, reinforcement learning, and a car company with $26 billion and a factory schedule willing to bet its own production line on getting it right. So picture that robot again, walking across the MetLife Stadium turf with a match ball, 80,000 people watching, most of them with no idea that 11 days earlier, a Korean car company had just closed the loop on 6 years of buying this thing piece by piece. Hyundai Motor, Kia, Mobis, Glovis, and one chairman's personal stake, all finally pointed at the same target. Atlas doesn't do party tricks anymore. It does chores, or it's supposed to, starting in 2028 on a factory floor in Georgia, building the car you might be driving in a few years. Whether it actually gets there on schedule, at that cost, with a union on board, is still an open question. But the ownership question isn't open anymore. As of July 2026, there's exactly one name on the deed, and it's not American.